Like, what was school like for you? The things that stood out to you.
Are we
Just
still in elementary school or?
you can move up now to high school if you want, but like I remember how you once said something to the teacher you mentioned about like it's great here, you don't beat us.
That was during the
Parent teacher conference.
no, that was during the walkthrough of the school that we did.
Okay.
Did we get a second walkthrough?
No, it was we only got one walkthrough, but it was during that walkthrough.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure. Or was it a student?
I'm pretty sure you weren't there because I was right after that. I got ridden with anxiety and started crying.
Okay, all right. No, I'm thinking of a different thing.
Yeah, it was during parent teacher conferences, so it was just me and mom with my sweet teacher. I love her to death, but I don't remember her name. But I'll remember her face and her curly hair forever,
Okay.
and her pointy nose.
Oh, okay.
In a good way.
Okay, a good pointy nose. Got it.
Yes, good pointy nose. Good witch. Good bitch.
Okay, so what was that conference like? What?
Well, it was very interesting because we never, ever really had any of that kind of stuff back on the island. But I mean, we kind of did, but if we did, it would always end badly, kind of stuff. Like, it was only bad things of us told.
You mean like parent-teacher interviews?
Yeah.
Like problems and all that?
Yeah.
I barely even remember those.
I feel like they really didn't happen. They
feels all glossed over. I just remembered being
they were very happy just beating us instead of actually bringing it to the parents.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, it was very interesting because it literally started out with that where she said hello to mom and everything, and mom goes on to tell the story about how we're not from here and where we did come from and stuff like that. And then my teacher turned to me and she was really impressed. She thought we were just the coolest thing. And she asked what I thought.
Go ahead, continue.
That's not going to work to shut him up. I'm just saying. But she asked me how I was enjoying myself here, and I looked at her and I smiled real big and I said, "Yeah, I really, really like it here, guys. I really like it a lot. You guys haven't beaten me once." And her face went pale and like terrified, and she looked at me and she said, we're never gonna do that to you. That would never. That's wrong. And mom's face also seemed to be in shock as well.
Yeah, because she never really, our mom never really found out about.
I'm gonna muzzle your cat.
You can't. It doesn't work.
Our mom never really found out about how we were being treated at those schools until we were here in Canada, going to school here. And then that's around the time we started opening up about it, because we realized that no, that actually wasn't normal.
I think that was the case for you guys. I think there was like a conversation at one point that I had with mom when I was because I was in high school at this time. I was already out, and I think you guys were still having issues, and so I had a conversation with mom, and then she made up the choice to be like, okay, you guys need to learn that you don't deserve to be treated like this. I'm taking you to Canada. And so I think that is how she made up her mind. So I think that she knew before coming to Canada and that was the major reason why she was like, okay, I'm taking my kids out.
Yeah, it was really it was for us.
Yeah.
And for herself too, but
yeah, mom and dad's relationship wasn't so great, but that's their story to tell.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so I was in high school. You guys were in middle school. Do you guys want to talk about your experiences in high school before I quickly just briefly talk about how I felt in my 20s? My early 20s outside of high school?
Yeah, I think we should keep it in sections here, definitely.
So, how was your experiences in high school?
Sky, you go first.
This is Sky speaking. I finally had friends that shared my interests, and I got along with them so well. We did a whole bunch of fun things together, and I finally felt like I was wanted, or I was seen, like again, in the previous one.
Friends, you
I-
were
yeah.
included.
Yeah, whereas in one of the previous interviews we had, I had mentioned that I'm very much quiet and I try to stay. I try to just stay in the background. I don't really like being at the center of attention. I just want to be on the sidelines and
Yeah,
sort
you-
of watch.
You and
listen.
I are the same like that. We're both introverted.
Yeah.
Raven's extroverted.
Very
As-
much.
I'm not extroverted, actually.
You're pretty extroverted.
I'm at
In
the.
comparison to the two of us. Yeah,
Mhm.
you're pretty much
When
out there.
compared to us, yeah.
Compared to us. Out of the three of us, you would be considered the extroverted one.
All right.
Okay, continue what you were saying, Sky.
I think that also helped me start to open up more to people, because I do remember there were a few individuals at that school that I didn't really get along too well with, and I finally stood up for myself for once. And it instead of it being I would get beaten on the island for standing up for myself, instead it was more of a sit down and have a talk, rather than, the whole physical violence. So that I also learned that there are other ways to
Open up.
open up and deal with your issues other than to get violent, because I remember we were violent with each other a lot.
Man, we fought, dude.
But I feel like that was a symptom of like all the pent up rage and anxiety that we had in school.
I believe it's also because of those schools that we learned that problems are solved through violence.
Yeah.
When that's not the right way.
In
to
a
do
sense,
things.
this is a part of generational trauma, because what's being taught to you, you emulate, and how the things that happen to us in school and in that environment, it shaped us even when we were outside of that environment, basically.
Mhm.
Okay, so you, Raven, how did you feel going
Well-
into high school, etc.?
Going into high school, I felt a lot like my similar self through like my last couple years, grade 8, grade 7. I kind of felt like I noticed things. I'm an empath. I learned that I was an empath kind of in grade 7. So as I would see people being treated certain ways and stuff, I remember deciding that I didn't like that, and that I was gonna stop.
Just for a quick reference, what does empath mean to you? What is the definition of empath?
An
you
empath
go
is a
by.
person that can look at another individual and kind of feel the feelings that they are feeling, be
Okay.
it good or bad.
And so you felt more connected as an empath that way with other people?
Yeah, sort of, and I remember deciding that I didn't like the way a lot of these kids were treating these other kids that were actually quite nice people. So I decided that I was going to be like
The protector?
a little, no, not a protector, more like a Robin Hood kind of thing,
Uh,
I don't want to cause them to lean on
so
me the
you
whole
stole
time.
from them, the bad people, and gave to the bullied people, in a sense?
The other half of Robin Hood.
The other half.
What's the other half? You wore a lot of tights?
Anyway,
I'm just trying to understand your references. And by the way, these are actions done by someone who is far more extroverted than introverted. Just saying.
I don't. Okay. How to describe it? It's like in those moments where I could tell that they needed someone to step in. I wanted to be that person that would step in.
You wanted to see justice prevail.
I wanted to see justice prevail.
I think the term you're trying to find is intermediary.
Yeah,
You were the intermediary between individuals, so you could help them find a solution to their issues.
Yeah.
probably. Basically, you stood up for people who looked like they couldn't stand up for themselves.
Yeah, but I didn't do it all the time, just only in those certain moments, I was also very busy with other things, I definitely had opened up a lot and I made a lot of friends. I I was practically friends with all the kids that were
Extroverted. Continue.
and so that followed through into high school there, but not so much because then it was almost like a reset where I had to go win everybody else, and that was a little bit fun because then I could also tell like who I didn't like, who I liked, blah blah blah, and
Like you say that you consider yourself introverted, not extroverted.
no, I'm not introverted or extroverted. I'm the in between.
You're just neutral. Like,
I gotta when I'm out and about, I like to be with people.
and then when you're on
Being
your
with people
own,
doesn't bother me. I quite enjoy it, but I also enjoy my alone time as well.
I guess you're normal in that regard, and we're just us. But what is normalcy?
No such thing.
All right, I guess that can lead us into how we felt in our early adulthood, let's say, because technically we're still in our early adulthood. I mean, well,
I didn't even say anything about my high school, dude.
I thought you were talking about your time in high school because you were like when you had to change different friends and stuff. You're talking about between grades and middle school
We
still?
barely even talked about high school, dude.
Okay, well, talk about high school. I was asking you. Go ahead. Speak our truth.
Okay, sorry.